Hello, everyone, and welcome to my show. I'm Melody Hart, and I'm super excited that you decided to watch the show today. You know I'm all about living life unlimited. Today, we want to live life unlimited in the music world, the entertainment world, right? We all have a little thing about music somewhere. When you're riding in the car, you at home cleaning up, I don't know, wherever you may be, you always listen to some music, right? So I want you all to stay tuned because up next, I have MJ Shelby to talk to us about how to live life unlimited in the music industry. We'll be right back.
I know it may seem like your life is falling apart, but don't quit now, here comes your second wind. I am here to uplift our young ladies that want to give up on life, to let them know that God has a plan for you. Please join our efforts as we all can uplift our young ladies and together save our daughters against homelessness. We love you. Don't quit, baby.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Right now, I'm here with MJ Shelby. He is a music composer, you're a director in music. You do a whole bunch of things in music.
Yes, I do.
So tell us a little bit about your background that qualified you to be able to produce somebody else.
Well, I come from a musical family, so I started doing music at a very early age, probably around third grade, I would say.
Wow.
Yes, my father played guitar, my mom played. My sister is a member of the Sounds of Blackness, so she's been singing for quite a while. So yeah, my brother played with Jimmy Smith for a while. I have a cousin that plays keyboard with the Commodores. I have a nephew who plays, so it's a musical family.
So that's pretty much what made you want to become, a music composer and be in the music industry, obviously.
Yes, doing music has always been fun, it's been enjoyable, but at one point I kind of wondered if I was doing music because it was the family business or did I really want to do music.
Well, you look like you can play the piano a little bit. Do you play the piano or keyboard?
Yes, my main instrument is a bass. So I studied orchestration composition as a bassist. So yes, I'm a trained composer.
So tell us one of your favorite songs that you like.
Oh, wow.
Your favorite genre of music?
Jazz is kind of my thing. I kind of went to jazz early in life. Most people was kind of still be partying. I was kind of into jazz and stuff like that.
Laid back kind of.
Well, classical music as well. Classical music is kind of laid back, but yes, Herbie Hancock was one of the first people I started listening to.
Awesome.
Yeah, that kind of took me into jazz. That's a great point. Very relaxing music. That's the kind of music that I do compose. I worked for years as a composer for theater.
Oh, for theater.
Yes, and that's before I'm from the Midwest, so I came out from St. Paul, Minnesota.
So you live in life unlimited then because you're not only just doing music, you was doing music with theater.
Yes.
So how did you combine those two and made you go in that particular direction?
I was always a performer. Well, right now I'm working with a lot of the old school players from back in the old days that we may or may not remember. For an example, I'm working with like James Brown's bass player, the guitar player from Brenton Wood, player from Tower Power, the Gap Band, Wilson Pickett's people, I mentioned James Brown's drummer, individuals like that.
Well, those people are very important. So really, you are actually helping them to live unlimited because even though some people might have forgotten, but they're not forgotten because they're still doing it.
Very true. This is very true. And we're trying to put them back in the limelight. We're trying to get new material for them to work with and kind of like old school made new.
Yeah.
We don't want them to be forgotten. And that's kind of one of my goals is to work with them so they don't be forgotten.
So
keep it alive.
What are some of the steps that you take with them in order to even promote them to want to do it? Because I'm sure, they like, you sure I'm going to be able to do this?
Oh,
what do you tell them to say, come on back here?
Oh, yeah. Basically, we have a promotional website, number one, where we post your material, post your bio so people can see what you're doing now, what you've done in the past. If you have a current single out, we will stream that for you. We'll post your video. We have a calendar section where people can go actually see you perform. We could try to get the fans involved in the making of the music videos, different things and such. So the website does a lot in terms of exposure.
Oh.
in addition to that, we have a staff of individuals just actually physically calling individuals finding them work. Nightclubs and different, fairs and festivals and weddings and different things and such.
So what do you think is the most popular genre of music?
Oh, rap for sure.
Rap?
Rap and hip hop for sure. Soul is coming back. Soul is coming back. Rock is not going anywhere. Country's it's hard to say.
You think?
It's hard to say.
So what when a person's singing these different types of music, right?
Right.
Is it very important for them to promote themselves, or do they make a lot of money on the actual gig or the selling of the music?
There's so many things you have to do these days. It's impossible for you to promote yourself 100%. There is enough that you can do yourself. You definitely have to make a music video. That, if you know who to call and what channels to get it on, you can promote that yourself. But in terms of getting your music on the radio, that's very difficult by yourself. In terms of getting your music on all the popular streaming situations, it's very difficult by yourself, even just knowing those people, and it takes time, especially for those struggling artists with a day job. It's impossible to work all day and come home at 6 in the evening and call a radio station, hey, did you get my music yet? It just doesn't, you kind of have to stay on that all day.
So technically, it's more so a full-time job if you're going to actually do this for real.
For sure. For
you
sure.
know, because or either have someone like you.
A team. You need a team.
A team.
Exactly.
So how many people would it technically consist of for this particular team? Like, is it one person?
Oh, well, no, because once the material is complete, you start doing shows and things and such, you need a publicist. You need someone to get out there and make sure that there's interviews written about you. You have to have someone that's going to get you actually shows. Yeah, and so there's a lot. Someone needs to work with your image, and so on and so forth. So
wow, that's a lot.
Exactly. It's much like acting.
Oh, yeah,
that's
true.
It's much like acting. It's pretty much the same thing. You have to have your portfolio out there. You have to have what you do yesterday, not last year, kind of a thing.
Yeah, literally. You know what? And that makes a lot of sense, because when I was thinking about it, I was like, well, look like every part of anything with entertainment, you still have to bring yourself, you know, have a manager to do this and an agent to do this. But with music, it almost even, more competition, as they say, competition, because you got to figure out how to get out there.
Exactly. And it's still like everything else, is who you know.
Who you know. Oh,
and
who you know is just demanding everything, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't take the place of hard work. Well, thank you. Thank you. Doesn't take the place of hard work. You have to really want to do it. The thing about the music industry is I run into people who do it for the sake of the money. I want to be rich like Puffy Combs. They don't say I want to do it for the sake of the music.
Of the love of music.
Exactly. You have to be true to yourself. And so whatever your craft may be, you can be a gardener, but be a true gardener. That's kind of where my head's at. So I do run into people that really shouldn't be in the industry because they don't have what it takes to endure.
Yeah, the lasting power.
Exactly.
Because you really do have to persevere through that, because if it's just for the money, you may not make no money.
Exactly. And then you might start doing something else just for the money. You know what I mean? So
that's true.
so then you're stuck, whatever, back to where you never left.
Well, tell us a little bit about what you're currently doing. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, like I'm working on a project in the San Fernando Valley. Our business is in North Hollywood, but we're working in a club out of Reseda. And we put together a number of musicians that we remember from the olden days, trying to put together a new project. I have the leader of the group is one of the singers from Lakeside. The bass player worked with James Brown up until he passed away. Oh. Yes, I have one of the female singers used to be with Reverend James Cleveland.
Yeah, I love it.
So it's a pretty upscale group. And so we'll be doing old material and some new material. But we're going to start performing at least once a month, bringing music back to the community, the old school.
So how would you want to promote them in the community so the community can see that they actually, hey, this is what's happening, this is, the new thing happening, to make it in their head, this is new.
Exactly. Well, yeah, shows like this.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely helping us out in that respect. But, it's just old school. Your flyers, old school barbershop. I stopped by the barbershop.
Literally.
Really. It's just old school. Word of mouth, subway stations, just letting people know. Our website, we have a number of followers on our website that we can let people know what's going on. But it's like people, Facebook, whatever, but it's something I'm starting up. And so Hopefully it takes off. I'm sure it will take off because everyone likes good old school music. And in the meantime, I'm an oldies DJ, so I'll be spinning some Motown and stuff. You know, in the middle of all that, I'll be spinning some Motown. So we're gonna have it going on like that. Yeah.
That's what's up. Oh my God, I'm excited. Make sure you invite me now
Indeed.
so I can.
I'll put you on the guest list. So
VIP.
there you go.
You know what? We're gonna have a break in a few minutes, but when we do come back, I do want to talk a little bit about your different artists, and I know you have someone with you that you want people to talk to and know about him
yes, friend of
as
mine.
well.
Yes, indeed.
And also, I really do want to talk about how important it is for a musician to have social media.
Very important.
Very
important.
Because a lot of musicians, they don't want to expose themselves, so
They're in the wrong business.
Yeah, I know. I told them you got to have social media.
Exactly. If you don't want to expose yourself, then you shouldn't be in a business where you might be the only one on stage, right?
Literally. That's true.
So that's kind of where that's at. So.
And to you, some of the artists, they're the opening act, right?
Exactly.
And so then I know one time someone was saying that they was the opening act, and then the main act didn't even show up.
I can see that happening as well.
Oh my gosh! So you all, I want you all to stay tuned because after these messages, we're gonna have more with MJ Shelby to talk about all the amazing things he's doing, especially with all these artists that's coming up and that's been here, that's coming back here. Indeed, right? So you all stay tuned. We'll be right back. It's amazing.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gwendid, and I'll be your professor today. And I will be talking about the brain.
Hi.
Hello, I'm your veterinarian today.
You're kidding.
Nope, I'm Dr. Brooklyn. See?
Okay, doctor.
Oh, here, let me see. Good morning, everyone. I'm your new coach. My name is Maddie. Nice to meet you. I had the most fantastic day in the office. You'll never believe what happened. We got that new business I wanted. Have you ever seen him fly?
Have you seen him what?
Fly?
No.
My cat can fly.
Okay.
The dog's brain can't think as much as the human's brain because there's no high school for the dog. This is Peter, the Triceratops. Peter is 1 year old. The T-Rex, Sally, is 1,002,252 years old. Knees up like a unicorn. Higher, higher. I've been to New York, Transylvania, Pennsylvania. We can think and do lots of stuff with our brain. Now, does anybody know how big the brain is? Anybody? Sophia. It is medium.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Right now, we are going to have another amazing guest with us, with Mr. Shelby, and his name is
Bernie Brooks II.
Welcome, Bernie Brooks.
Mr. B.
Mr. B. Well, I'm super excited to have you here with us. I know you are here with Mr. Shelby, and so we want to talk a little bit about what you do and your relationship with him.
Awesome.
So just tell us a little bit about it.
Well, actually, my relationship with Shelby comes through music, of course. Right? I first met Shelby at an ASCAP conference in California.
Okay.
I started going around 2007. And
So, wow, you've been knowing each other.
yeah, we've been knowing each other for a while. Yeah, we've been knowing each other for a while.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about your music and your genre.
All right, well, actually, I started in the education field, strongly in the education field. I grew up in the church.
That's what we
And
all did.
so-
We still in the church.
That's right. That's right. But the reason I had to go to church is because I lived in a very bad part of Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And it was called Cabrini Green.
Oh.
It was really strong. It was really strong, right?
Oh.
And so, in living in that area, my mother had to find a way for us to basically stay out of trouble.
Oh, wow.
And so she was a genius. She was an educator herself. She was a teacher and single family. Okay.
Well, she did a good job, look like.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. You're awesome. You're beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And so she decided the one way is to keep us into church and to also place instruments in front of us when we were very young.
That's amazing.
And it was just me and my brother. And so at the early age of 7 years old, she started placing instruments in front of us, pianos, percussions, things like that. So right along with learning how to read and write, I sort of became a better musician as well.
That's good.
And so it came up, it was a parallel thing, it came in hand in hand. And so I started using music in order to understand education better. You know, not to get too deep into it, but you have 3 different kinds of learners. You have a kinesthetic learner, an auditory learner, you have a visual learner.
And I'm a visual learner.
So I get it, I get it.
Yeah,
I
I
get
have
it.
to see you.
You have to see it done.
Yeah, you can lecture it all you want, and I still ain't seen it.
I get it, I get it.
Yes,
Well,
I know that
I
feeling well.
get it, I
Yeah.
get it. Well, many of the students that I worked with, they were kinesthetic learners, and so they had to touch it, they had to do it. And the instrument is an object that you have to play, you have to handle.
Yeah.
And so it worked well. And then I would incorporate certain ideas into my curriculum, certain musical ideas into my curriculum. And then I began to realize that, wait a minute, music saved my life.
That's amazing. And one of the things, are you with you being an educator, are you a music instructor?
That's funny that's how it happened. It wasn't planned that way.
But that's perfect though. You know, but it's almost like you was reared to be that.
I'm like, it must have been a spiritual thing.
It really was, because you know, you was like the epiphany of the person to be able to teach students how to do music, because you're an educator and you know music.
It happened. I just thank God for it. It had to be a blessing because I planned on, I guess, kind of following after my mother's footsteps with the education. I just wanted to help the kids learn.
That's
Learn how to
amazing.
read and write. But then, because all the instruments was put in front of me, that forced me to learn how to study and to spend time with myself and to be patient and to understand mathematics through 3/4 or 4/4 and things like that through my music, through fractions and stuff like that. So it began to help me on a totally different level.
But
And
that
so-
all goes with music, right?
Right. Well, I didn't know that at the time. At the time, I just thought that it was just something to keep me out of the streets. And so afterwards, I developed my own program.
Wow.
And I left the public school system, started my own business.
That's
And
awesome.
it's Bar Productions Network. And then I began to help students that way, teaching them, tutoring them, but also tutoring them in music. And then from there, I started performing, and I went to ASCAP, and I met my buddy Shelby, who, he's just been such a blessing. He's reared me.
Wow.
I'm just telling you, he's reared me.
He's pouring into you so you can pour into them.
That's exactly what it was. And he was always open to me. He was always open to me. And he knew that at first I was, a newbie.
Yeah,
And
you
so
know,
he was
we
like,
all
take it
newbies to
easy,
something.
take it
Yes.
easy, right? And
Yes.
so he's been sort of like my mentor through it all. And so
Very pleasurable. Very pleasurable.
No, get it. He's
And you
the
know
best.
something,
He's the best. I'm
but
not
I
joking.
think that's amazing though, because what he's doing for you, you're doing for those kids.
That's what I was getting ready to tell you. It's sort of like I feel obligated. It's like my duty
You give
because
it back.
God gave me somebody to mentor me. I have to give it back. And so that took me into performance. So now I help produce, I help arrange, I help perform. I'm going to school for audio engineering, and I've been doing that for a while. So I help with audio engineering. So all of these things came out of somewhat showing love toward me, so I have to give that back. To me, it's just like it's no other thing to do but give it back.
So how do you feel about having someone like this on your team?
It's always encouraging when you have someone that wants to learn and grow. That's number one. And we were talking earlier about putting the time in. He certainly has, and the dedication is there. So, he's kind of rough around the edges. But,
He get a little hard-headed every now and
there
then.
you go. There you go.
You know
Well,
what?
he is from Chicago, so I'll give him some. I give him a little
Look at
slack in.
Midwest, from one Midwestern to another. Okay.
You know, and I'm sure with you around those kids, they let you know about like the social media, how important it is. Because that's what I was saying before we went on the break, how important it was about the kids. So do those kids train you guys on how to keep up with all those amazing things with, the social media for music?
My daughter does.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I haven't had a better resource system other than young people.
Wow.
I mean, the snapshots, the Twitter, all of the new ones.
Did
I
you
can't
say
even
snap?
say
Did you say Snapshots or
the Snapchats. The snap. You see, I got it wrong. But listen, that's what I
he's
do.
showing his old
I
school.
said,
There you go,
I'm
exactly.
completely old school, can't you tell? But no, I really do. I listen to the students. I go to the young people, and I say, what's the new thing happening? And a lot of times, you don't even have to ask. They come right to you and they say, look, Mr. Brooks, you know, I'm Mr. Brooks there. You know, I'm AKA Mr. B on the stage.
Mr. B on the stage.
But you know, with them, yeah, they keep you current.
Yeah, keep you.
They
And
keep you
it's
current.
very important. And that's one thing too. I feel that would help with what you're doing because if you have youth, they can upsell us. You know,
That's right.
as old school. Hey, this is the trend that's going on, but we can still incorporate both of them.
And that's why it's nice to have young interns.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Are they real interns now? They're just some people that go get the coffee.
No,
you know,
They're just your flunkies.
They're there for a purpose.
You gotta
They're there
crawl
for a
before you
purpose.
can walk. You have to
Okay.
crawl
Unless
before you
somebody
can
who
walk.
can't run a computer go get the coffee.
That's true. And you know something? But you know something? I really believe in the industry, in order to move up, you have to be able to help somebody else.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only way you're going to learn. And a lot of times, as you were saying earlier, if they're just about the money, they're not going to learn.
No.
Because you focus on the money and you won't do what you need to do.
Exactly.
You won't go that extra mile because you'll be distracted by the money. Everything will be based on the money.
Yeah.
And so that, you know, when everything is based on money, it makes people act peculiar.
Okay, and make you do things that you
Do
regret.
things you really shouldn't be
Yeah,
messing with.
and later on you'll be like, oh man, I shouldn't have
Why?
done that.
Why?
So tell me something about the kids that just really just do something to you. I'm really excited when people talk about how they encourage kids because somebody encouraged me, you know?
Right. Well, see, I think the way I've been blessed is that I've worked with, like you work with different genres, I work with different types of students. I've worked with students in low income area, and then I've worked with gifted students. You know, my last school was a private, what that I worked with was a private school, Catholic school, and they were all top-notch students. They all went to Harvard and stuff like that. And so, you know, I get to compare the differences, and I get to take a little from this and give to that, and take a little from that and give to this. And so I guess the one thing with the students is that I'm learning that we need to believe in them a little bit more.
A little bit more.
I think that we take for granted that just because they're young, that they're stupid and that they can't help us.
And they can help us in a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways, and also they make us realize who we are.
Yeah.
You know, some things that we might have missed and said, man, I wish I would have done that. Now I can give that back to someone else, and it helps you grow. I mean, you have to grow. Like, you know, like that. That's the best way to grow.
Well, you know, so I think your life is interesting. The reason why I say that is because as you're talking, you know, you met him,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then your mom was an educator, which
Yes,
made
she
you
retired.
educator
Thank
and
you.
music educator. And then you just made something that was so profound. You said you teach both sides.
Yeah, certified.
You know,
Yeah.
not just well educated, but even the inner city youth and stuff like that. So you're able to let them know this is where you can go if you keep on.
Yes.
So they
For
really
real.
could
Yeah,
live
that's
unlimited.
strong. That's strong.
So
That's
I-
the point now.
Yes,
That's the point right
I'm
there, what
telling
you just said. That's the entire point.
You know?
You
There
can
you
do
go,
it. You
yes.
can do
You
it.
can do
and
it.
I know it feels hard. I know you feel pressure. I'm coming from Chicago. I've only been here a small amount of time, and now I already realize that everything is really expensive here, and you get a little bit for a lot big prize, for a great big prize. I already figured that out. However, you know what? It also gives you a sense of accomplishment here.
Yeah,
Because you see everybody else pushing and
Yeah,
doing
and
it. I love it.
That
I love
energy,
it.
that energy itself makes you say, you know what, I can do this.
Yes.
So I feel like that you are on this journey and on this path for a reason.
Thank you.
Especially for the young people, and he's an epiphany of that to help you get it done. Because I'm telling
enjoy
you,
it. I
and
enjoy
then
it.
I mean, he's even telling the people from the old school, life unlimited, because we finna make it happen, right?
Again.
We finna make it happen again.
Exactly.
And what better way than to do 2 rounds?
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
So many people don't get a chance to do 2 rounds.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So could you just let them know before we get ready to go, something that you're doing right now currently before we leave, and how people can continue to connect with you guys, because you guys living life unlimited, and I want y'all guys to live life unlimited too out there. So
right.
so let them know what they can be doing.
Okay, so right now what I'm doing, I'm actually helping young people right now a lot of times young people don't realize that they have these gifts and these talents, and they need people to help take them to the next level. You know, I realize that, you know, I'm coming from another place, so I'm inexpensive. If you need help with your projects, whether it's your homework, because education is just as important as your music. So if you need help with any of that, you can call me. I have a number if you want it. You can call me, or you can email me.
What's your
And
email?
My email is bbjrmic@yahoo.com. That's BB as in Bernie Brooks, MIC like the microphone, Junior, JR @yahoo.com.
And tell us your website so they can.
My promotional website is Aries of NoHo Promotions. NoHo meaning North Hollywood. So you can just go to the site and put in Aries of NoHo or Aries Promotion, whatever the case may be, but ariesofpromotions.com, and you will see my smiling face. But you also will see all the artists I work with and the
Amazing people, huh?
exactly.
Well, you know, I appreciate you guys so much for being on the show, and I hope you all have been like really wanting to live life unlimited in the music industry, because he's an educator, he's a composer, producer, director, he do it all, like the whole thing. So, you know what, I appreciate you all so much. Make sure that you follow me on all my social media and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Melody Trice. And next time, we'll be back later. Bye. Woo-hoo.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Music,
thank you.
y'all.
Awesome.